Hey guys, Sam here. Thanks for checking the video out. Logic Pro has millions and millions of features, and loads of them are useful for so many different uses. You can use an EQ in multiple different ways. You can use vari audio, time stretching, whatever, in so many different ways. But there's one feature in Logic that literally has one use. It does it well, but it kind of begs the question, why include it and why not include a load of other features? Because there's several features that I'm kind of still wanting in Logic and feel like they probably should implement. But this one feature has been here since, I don't know which version, loads of versions ago. And it's kind of a bit of a mainstay. You will have seen it a million times, but you will never really have probably looked at it and really understood what it does. So I'm going to take a look at it now. So here I've got a drum loop and I've got a couple of bounces of it as well, just kind of looped over. So let's take a listen to this loop first of all. Let's just set locators around it and just take a listen to it. It is a drum loop. And then with that drum loop, if I go into my mixer, I've got this sent to a bus, which has got repeater, which has got a delay on it. Let's take a listen to that delay. You can hear the delay. Now, this feature is within the bounce dialog. So if I just press Command and B, then we've got PCM. So we're bouncing this as a WAV file. It's this little puppy here, bounce second cycle pass. Now, this is only going to come up if you have real time selected. If you click offline, then it's not available. So what this does is it essentially bounces the audio, but it bounces it twice. Why does it do that? Well, if we've got some time-based effects, so reverbs or delays, then when we actually hit play or when we start to bounce, there's nothing being delayed or nothing being reverberated at the beginning. And that's for good reason. There's nothing there to be reverberated. What this will do is it will take into account the first go round of the loop, and then it will just export the second go round. So anything that's being delayed after the first lot will essentially be within the second file. Sounds confusing, sounds weird. Let's take a listen to it in action. So this is the first bounce. Hear the delay. The second time round, the beginning of the second time round, there's no delay there because it wasn't kind of featured in the first time round. If we take a listen to the second time round, there's delay in there. Now, it's not as if this is like a second better quality version. In fact, if we go to the second version, bring our gain plugin on, and we've got that phase inverted, so we're doing like a sum difference thing, then we're just going to hear the difference between the two. There's not going to be any difference other than at the beginning of each of the regions, there's going to be that delay sound there. Then it's going to fade out. The beginning of the next region, it's going to come back in again. Okay. Kind of a weird feature. Now, the one use that this has is when you're exporting loops. If you've got something that has got a reverb or any kind of time-based effect, delay on it, then it's going to include that within the beginning part of the region. But that is unbelievably niche. That is only useful for a specific subset of users who are creating maybe sample packs or creating kind of very specific loop-based music. And it does beg the question, why is this feature here when there's loads of other features that we could potentially include? For example, in that bounce dialog, there's a number of things that I'd love to see here. You can bounce it as PCM, so a WAV file, and an MP3 at the same time, but you can't export as two different WAV files. You can't export as like the 48K original and a 44.1 dithered version as well, or whatever it is. You can't like bounce a load of different dithers and kind of work out the difference. There's a lot of things that you can't do in this dialogue, so it kind of begs the question, why is that included? And I think it's obvious why it's included, because it's probably, I know nothing about coding or DSP, creating applications, not my thing. It's probably a relatively simple thing to do, I would have thought. And just having that as a checkbox, just making it so it goes round again, is a far lesser task than being able to export as loads of different WAV versions or maybe different MP3 versions at different bit rates. But to me, those features are infinitely more important than having this real-time second bounce, because that is the only reason I can think of that you would ever use it. If you can think of another reason why it's useful, then please let me know. But in here, we can tell by listening to the first and the second pass and polarity invert in the second that there's no difference. There's no like better quality or anything in the second one. It's just got that one use. And for me, it's completely useless. For you, it may be useful, but I don't know. I kind of feel like there's bigger fish to fry here. I feel like there's more features that could be included. So I'm going to do a video on that, about the features that I think Logic should include, but drop me something in the comments and let me know what features you'd love to see in Logic Pro. I'll see you again soon. Take care.